After Caitlin Clark's injury, ticket prices have gone down 75%, which we knew would happen because if Caitlin's not there, we don't care.
Obviously, we've seen that Caitlin Clark is injured, so the get-in price for the Sky versus Fever game on June 7th was $86, literally 48 hours ago. Now it's down to $25 after it was announced that Caitlin Clark was injured. So this is a 71% drop in ticket prices just because of Caitlin Clark's injury alone.
Angel Reese strolled into an arena so empty, you'd swear you could hear a popcorn kernel drop twice. There was no sign of Caitlin Clark, no cheering fansust, a void of expectation. And then, without a shred of mercy, re-exploded into a full-blown meltdown that outdid even the wildest drama of a Real Housewives reunion. When Queen Ree realized she wasn't the headliner anymore, chaos ensued messier than a fast food bag left in your backseat. Get ready, because this silent stadium showdown is one reaction you have to see to believe.
And unfortunately, news broke that Caitlin Clark unfortunately has sustained a quad strain injury from the sound of it and is out for, it sounds like, at least 2 weeks. Justin, did you have some more info on that?
Yeah, 2 weeks that she's out with a quad strain injury. The Fever head coach, Stephanie White, this is a quote from her talking about this. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is a competitor and wants to play. Obviously, everyone wants to watch her play, but for me, it's about making sure we address this in a way that doesn't affect her long term.
Sounds totally reasonable. I think obviously she's instrumental to what that team does. She's very
Angel Reese strutted into that empty arena like it was Madison Square Garden, and she was headlining Beyoncé's World tour only. There was no crowd, no energy, and no Caitlin Clark. Just the sound of missed layups, squeaky sneakers, and one bored security guard probably checking his fantasy football lineup. Every time the ball clanked off the rim, the echo said it all.
Twang.
Another missed bunny. Honestly, it felt like even the rim wanted a restraining order.
Caitlin Clark might be a demigorgon. I was watching the WNBA. There was nothing on the TV, so I said, why do I just support women? I'm a proud feminist anyways. It was one of the worst things I've ever watched. All I saw was straight bricks. But Caitlin Clark might be a demigorgon. That girl can hoop. I will say, Caitlin Clark, your ass need a new team. The people on your team some trash. And I know you can't even tell them that they're trash, so I might need to talk to your coach. I was watching the last 4 minutes of the game. I know y'all niggas ain't watch it, so I'm gonna explain it to y'all. Caitlin Clark had like 6 open passes to their teammates. Wide open layups. They missed every single layup. Them niggas lost the game. And for a game, Caitlin Clark had to take a 99% contested 3 because she knows she can't rely on them sorry ass niggas, so she had to shoot herself. Caitlin Clark, we gonna need to find you another team. I would say pairing you with Angel Reese would be some cinema, but if your teammates is breaking like that, your ass definitely can't be with Angel Reese. We need to pair you up with like Asia Wilson. Let me know what y'all think in the comments.
It's getting tough out here for the self-proclaimed Bayou Barbie. She's been marketed as the face of the league, but lately, she's looking more like the highlight reels outtake section. And before anyone jumps in with the haters gonna hate speech, let's keep it real. Nobody's dropping their hard-earned cash on courtside seats to watch someone go 2 for 17 and celebrate like she just solved world hunger.
How do you feel about just her impact on the game, and specifically WNBA, and then their future game that they have?
With Caitlin Clark not being there for this game, it is obvious that people were not going to want to see the game without her, because it's the camaraderie. Is almost like seeing Bird against the Lakers without Magic, or Magic against Boston without Bird.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is out here getting double-teamed, shoved, hacked, tripped, maybe even pickpocketed, and somehow the refs don't blink. She can get full-on tackled mid-jumper and the whistle stays silent, like it's being guarded by a Wild West sheriff. At this point, you half expect her to get called for interrupting the assault. This isn't basketball, it's the WNBA. Hunger Games edition.
This is not the time to hit the panic button, but it's time to feel concerned about the Indiana Fever. They are horrible without Caitlin Clark. They look awful. Caitlin Clark is literally the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. She makes everybody around her better. Like, Lexi Hall is literally Steve Kerr. Sophie Cunningham may be John Paxson. Aaliyah Boston might be Horace Grant. I'm dead serious, man. team is not good without her. Kelsey Mitchell.
And yet, the moment Caitlin Clark touches the ball, the crowd lights up like it's Steph Curry and Diana Taurasi's secret love child taking the floor. People aren't packing arenas for the league or the Logotheory showing up for Clark. She's the engine, the attraction, the human highlight reel with a 3-point sniper scope and court vision sharper than your grandma's post-surgery eyesight. So what does the league do? Benches her brilliance. And just like that, the crowd vanishes faster than a dad's paycheck at a Taylor Swift show. Angel Reese can keep claiming she's that girl, but the numbers are loud. Fans are watching for Clark. They're buying tickets for Clark. They're finally learning what a pick-and-roll ISIL because of Clark. Reese stands can shout all they want, but even the void's like, yeah, I'm here for Caitlin too.
Really dig in deep. This is an athlete who has 5 million followers on social media. 5 million. And yet, only 300,000 people watch the game against Brazil. 300,000. Comparatively, the player you hate, the player you think is overrated, the player that you say is being followed by a MAGA cult and followed by a bunch of her team against Brazil drew 1.3 million viewers on television for a preseason game that they won by 64 points.
The league had a golden goose in Caitlin Clark, and instead of protecting it, they basically tossed it into a gauntlet. She's getting knocked around every possession while the refs act like they're watching a different sport. It's like they mistook her for a tackling dummy. She hits the floor, and the official's response is a shrug and a, well, she is tall. What's next? A foul for being too good? Meanwhile, the double standard is impossible to ignore. Angel Reese can chop someone down like she's splitting firewood, and it's called playing with heart. But when Clark shows emotion, suddenly, she's too competitive, too intense, not a team player. Please. Caitlin could blink too hard and catch a tech with a side of lecture on sportsmanship. Fans aren't stupid. They see it. That's why they're checking the schedule and only showing up when number 22 is on the court. You really think they're buying tickets to watch 18 missed layups and a second quarter tech for trash talk? Notheory coming for the magic, the range, the vision. They want showtime, not a brick fest followed by a dramatic post-game tweet about being doubted again. Reese may have the swagger, but Clark's got the skill and the stats to back it up. You can't fake basketball IQ. And you definitely can't flex your way into being a franchise. This isn't TikTok. It's pro ball. If you can't finish at the rim, maybe save the celebrations for later.
My God. Angel Reese went on a tirade the other day, talking about how many people are now tuning in to watch women's basketball, not just because of Caitlin Clark, but because of Angel Reese as well. Saying a lot of women have done so much for the sport, but specifically, people are watching because of me too. That's what Angel Reese said. Folks, in last video we were talking about Kennedy Carter. It was her shot. She had a shot tonight. She could have captivated whatever 50, 60, 70, maybe 100,000 people are watching that game. She could have stole the attention span of that all the Edens.
At this point, the rim's more shaken than the defenders, but let's be clear, this isn't just about Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark. This is a league-wide issue. The WNBA says it wants to grow the game, yet keeps sidelining the one player everyone's showing up to see. That's like dropping a blockbuster and cutting the lead actor from the final cut. Caitlin Clark is the box office. And right now, the WNBA is fumbling the popcorn. No Clark, no crowd, no energy. No buzz. Angel Reese might be loud, but the silence in that arena spoke volumes. So here we are again, watching the league wonder why viewership's flat and ticket sales are sluggish, scratching their heads like someone just handed them a Rubik's Cube in the dark. Ratings spike when Caitlin plays. Attendance jumps when her name's on the roster. And yet, instead of facing the obvious, the league blames everything from society to misogyny to Mercury being in retrograde. Meanwhile, the real problem is happening right on the court. Players like Angel Reese, Brittany Griner, and Dejonai Carrington are turning the game into a wrestling match. Hard fouls, flying elbows, and barely controlled chaos are becoming the norm. Let's be real. Fans aren't tuning in to watch borderline brawls dressed up as defense. They want skill, strategy, and stars not Fight Club and sneakers.
You guys are taking a look at your screen. You're seeing a lot of empty seats, but folks, I don't want you to be alarmed. These are not empty seats. These are people actually dressed up as empty seats. That whole top row where you see 2 people in a section, 3 people in a section, nobody in a section, even in the middle row, you see it empty. I mean, it's just empty there. Where are all these people that Angel Reese are talking about? Where are all these people that Angel Reese is saying are coming to watch women's basketball? More specifically, because of her.
There's a fine line between competitive fire and reckless intent, and some players haven't just crossed it, they've done a cartwheel over it, lit it up, and posted it with a "come at me" caption. It's like they've mistaken physicality for actual basketball skill. Spoiler alert, it's not the same thing. Take Angel Reese, for example. She walks the court with the energy of someone who just got cut off in traffic, flexing after fouls, mean mugging like she's in a prison audition tape, and trash talking like it's the only stat that matters. There's a difference between confidence and whatever this Issa's strange mix of arrogance, frustration, and denial. And this isn't just harmless theater. It's not about getting in someone's head, it's about knocking them off their feet. She's swinging, shoving, and hacking like the mission is injury, not defense. Then there's Brittany Griner. After her return from a harrowing international ordeal, she was welcomed back rightfully as a symbol of resilience. But since then, her game has leaned more toward brute force than basketball artistry. She's tossing elbows like warning shots, moving through the lane like a one-woman wrecking crew, and challenging anyone who dares step near the paint. The league holds her up as an icon, and her journey matters, but on the court, it's starting to feel less like a comeback story and more like a no-holds-barred wrestling match, missing the ring bell.
Carolina Fever showed up and showed out in its blowout win over the Chicago Sky. The game was filled with a bunch of drama. There was a lot of tension between Angel and Caitlin, and I'm here to tell you, Angel did speak with reporters immediately after the game. Caitlin Clark captured a triple-double. And with all that being said, roll the footage.
How did you feel like you guys did in those 3 years?
Yeah, I don't think we did them at the best that we could. Obviously, first game, we got to look back at the film and do things better. I think we definitely had good spurts where we could see that we could definitely get back and definitely rebound and definitely play in transition. So I think we'll just go back to the draw.
And then there's Dejonai Carrington, who defends with all the subtlety of a bulldozer. Her strategy seems simple: create chaos and pray the refs are napping. There's no finesse, no real technique, just non-stop aggression. And let's not kid ourselves, it's not about grit or heart. It's about intimidation. Cheap shots, hard fouls, the occasional body check disguised as a box out. She's not out there trying to stop you. She's trying to rattle you, maybe even hurt you. And somehow, that's becoming the league standard. Now, let's talk about the obvious. Caitlin Clark. Caitlin walks onto the court with a calm smile and laser focus, then casually drains a 30-footer like she's ordering a coffee. No flexing, no drama, no scowls, just pure skill, vision, and a joy for the game that fans can't get enough of. She's not throwing elbows, she's throwing no-look passes. Her game is smooth, smart, and electric, bringing that Steph Curry flair to a league still obsessed with 1990s-style bruiser ball. And how does the league reward her? With silence. She's getting hit, shoved, blindsided, smacked, and dragged to the floor, and the refs act like she's not even there. Every time she goes down, the whistle stays buried like it's on vacation. Opponents are pulling MMA moves in transition, and the officials are standing there like they're waiting for the halftime nachos. At this point, you get more protection walking blindfolded through a haunted house.
I might have to repeat it like 50 more times because y'all suck. Y'all talk a real big game. Y'all talk a real big game. Y'all tell us just how amazing Angel Reese is. Y'all tell us how y'all ride or die with Angel Reese. And you know what? This ain't on Angel Reese. This isn't even about Angel Reese. It's about y'all. You suck. All of y'all suck.
The inconsistency in officiating isn't just embarrassing, it's dangerous. Caitlin Clark is taking hits that would be flagrant twos in the NBA, and she's expected to just brush it off and keep playing. No whistle, no consequences. And if she dares show even a flicker of frustration, boom, technical foul. Of course. Meanwhile, players like Angel Reese can scream, taunt, and wildly gesture at opponents and even refs, and somehow skate by without a single warning. The double standard isn't set lights loud, obvious, and getting worse. But the real issue isn't just the bias, it's the league's silence. The WNBA says it wants growth, wants respect, wants to stand shoulder to shoulder with the NBA. But how can anyone take that seriously when officials are swallowing their whistles on blatant fouls, and the league office is pretending this mess is good for the game? It's not. This isn't gritty basketball. It's sloppy, chaotic, and at times flat-out dangerous. More importantly, it's boring. Fans tune in for talent, for finesse, for storylines they can follow and root for. They don't show up to watch players get jumped for playing the right way. They're not here for another slow-mo hack job while the commentators try to spin it as just physical defense. It's not empowering. It's not entertaining. It's lazy. It's reckless. And it's driving away the very audience the league claims it's trying to grow.
Is how much this continues. Is there going to be a fall off, weeks to come? Is there going to be a fall off in the viewers weeks to come? And if it continues to make that difference in the sales and in the output of what everything the brand is doing, then it's going to raise another situation to where people got to put way more respect on Caitlin Clark's name.
What makes it even more absurd is that Caitlin Clark isn't the one stirring the pot. She's not trash-talking, not throwing fits, not calling anyone out, just playing basketball. Yet, she gets clobbered and blamed all at once. Fans say she's too good. Players say she's overhyped. Commentators twist themselves into knots trying to explain why the league's most exciting player is somehow a problem. Spoiler alert, she's not. She's the solution. If anything, Caitlin Clark is the one saving this league from fading into obscurity. Imagine a WNBA where skill mattered more than swagger, where you didn't have to risk a concussion just to get an open shot, where refs actually saw fouls without needing binoculars, and where the best players were protected, not punished. That's the league fans would pay to watch. That's the league that could grow. That's the league Caitlin Clark could build if only they'd let her. Instead, the league seems set on choking its own success, rewarding brute force over brilliance, and penalizing those who make the game truly beautiful. It's like having a gourmet chef in the kitchen, but choosing to eat microwave nachos. Somebody in charge needs to wake up and realize thuggery doesn't sell tickets, talent, joy, and greatness do.
Indiana Fever ticket prices are plummeting. Since Caitlin Clark's injury and minimum 2-week absence were announced on Monday, fans are second-guessing how much they're willing to pay to go to a game. Even the get-in price to the Fever's said rivalry game dropped from $86 to $25. It's also worth noting these two road games were expected to be huge, so they were moved to bigger arenas. In fact, the NBA's largest arena in United Center. According to TickPick, the average purchase price for the 5 games until Caitlin is expected to return is down almost $60. The 5 remaining road games in June following Caitlin's expected return still have a get-in price that exceeds $100.
Right now, the WNBA feels more like a gladiator arena than a professional sports league. Sure, some fans might cheer for the chaos, but the casual viewers, the ones the league actually needs, are tuning out. They didn't come for wrestling, they came for basketball. Unless the league wakes up, starts protecting players like Caitlin Clark, calls games fairly, and holds the enforcers accountable, those fans won't be back. So don't be surprised when attendance drops. Don't act shocked when ratings only soar for one player. And don't clutch your pearls when the league's biggest star is the only reason anyone's still watching.